Hey everybody, check out what we've got, something a bit different for Luke and I to do a taste test on today.
Absolutely.
We're getting into the beer.
A bit of beer.
So what have we got, Luke?
Okay, so we've got two Australian beers. One is Carlton Draught, which is, maybe they're both Victorian beers.
Yes, Victorian.
I mean, one's obviously Victorian.
CUB, Victorian company.
Yes, but there's a lot of dissension between these two. People tend to either like one or the other. They don't tend to like both. Both have very different styles of marketing as well.
Yes, yeah,
so
ads.
Big ads. Well, Victoria Beat has had the same jingle for as long as I remember.
Yeah.
Which is just a song. It coins around the fact of having a cold earned thirst, or a good cold beer.
A hard-earned thirst needs a good cold beer.
And the best cold beer is Vic Bitter. Yeah. So there's a...
And that ad's been around for years. I can remember that as a tiny tacker, hearing that ad.
So, and it's the same music, same voiceover.
Yeah.
But the pictures change quite often, although sometimes they just rerun the same one from the 80s, or it looks very much maybe redone. But and then Carlton Draught
they have huge ads.
They have even ads called "This is a Big Ad." And it's like this epic battle of people trying to drink beer. The other thing with Victoria Bitter is I've heard it described as green tea. Okay. So sometimes people say, I'm just going home for a couple of green teas.
Right. Which
will usually mean Victoria Bitter.
Okay.
And there are other derivatives. There's like Melbourne Bitter and lots of other beers.
Now, I have got into the Carlton Draught.
Yes.
But I haven't actually... I don't even remember the last time I would have had a VB. It's a long time ago.
So the question is, where do we start? I think that's probably, you need to answer that. I actually quite like the flavour of Carlton Draught.
Well, let's go with a Carlton Draught, because I'm more familiar with that as well.
I guess so if we just do a taste, we can always go back to it afterwards.
Yeah.
So, alright, so the twist tops.
Good.
Carlton Draught in the past, and they still do, they often have questions under the lid. So, what is the only English word in which an F is pronounced like a V?
Only English word... Sorry, where the F is pronounced as a V?
Yes. And the answer they are saying is of. As in O-F.
Yeah, okay. Of.
Of
or off.
Off.
Oh, debatable, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay.
Debatable. And mine is... What currently... I nearly did that answer first, sorry about that. What currently living animal was alive when the Carlton Brewery was founded 150 years ago? What currently living animal was alive? What do they mean by that?
So,
it's still... Okay.
So what animal is
I'm
still alive?
thinking extinct, but not... I'm thinking extinct, but they're not doing that at all. What was alive 150 years ago, and it's still alive today? A 150-year-old animal.
Oh, like a turtle or something, or an elephant, or...
You got it already. Goodness, that was too easy. The answer, well, tortoise.
Tortoise. Okay.
Tortoise.
Okay. Oh, we're getting the kids saying they know. We just said the answer though.
What did you think the answer was?
It's a crocodile.
No, not a crocodile. Close. Tortoise.
Tortoise.
Yeah. It's okay. You can't be here. We're drinking beer. Oh gosh, the lawyers would have been straight onto that. Would have been in a lot of trouble.
I think the police might be turning up any moment.
Why do they? That's why they do the trivia, so the kids go, "Ooh, I want to know this."
Let's research it. Let's get online. Go. Where's the computer? We'll go over there.
All right. So we're not going to get into what are the differences in terms of its hoppiness and all that stuff. Well, let's just
we are the casual testers, not the technical testers. And speaking of which, I have to do a quick plug for Swill and Grog, who has been pleading with me to do a beer review. Here we are, Swill and Grog.
Does he tend to plead more on like a Friday night or a Saturday night, of after about 6 o'clock?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, no worries. I understand.
If you want to see real technical reviews of beer of many different varieties, check out Swill and Grog's channel. I'll put it up here so you can go straight there.
We are not in competition. We are just here to taste the flavours.
Yeah. So,
Well, cheers.
cheers.
First of all. Oh, hang on.
do it properly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's
Good old
taste.
Carlton.
Someone's going to tell us we're drinking it wrong.
We know that we're drinking it wrong. You don't have to tell us.
So beer is,
But I'm not sure why.
in and of itself, is an interesting flavour.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how you describe
As a child,
it.
I hated that smell.
Yeah,
I absolutely hated that smell.
even when I was over 18,
Teenager, yep.
I was not a fan of that beer smell.
Yep, yep.
But it's more something. What I find is it's refreshing, particularly after work or if
Yes. A hot
hot
day.
day.
Yeah.
You do get that sense. It does quench.
Yeah, it's
something.
very refreshing.
But it is an unusual flavour.
Yes.
Starts heavy and then gets softer. Almost got just a hint of aniseed, like a mild,
Okay, yeah.
very mild. I'm not a fan of aniseed, but
Right.
it's just kind of something in there
Yeah.
at the end that kind of just sits in that area. I wouldn't say it's aniseed, but
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't equate it to anything else.
Yeah, I tend to go down the refreshing line after a hot day, especially if I've been working physically. It's just something about having a beer that is, obviously relaxes you because of the alcohol.
What is this working physically word?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I'm saying
I'm
like
just-
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Well, it's like when you get your hands and your legs and you actually move them.
Oh,
Yeah, that's You might be driving a hammer. It's like the ad for these
Matter of fact,
fellas.
I've got it now.
Yeah. At the end of a hot hard day, you get a hot hard thirst.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And in this case, CUB with Carlton Draught are supplying the ammunition to overcome that. And very refreshing.
Yeah, the Victoria Bitter won't be happy that we've just used
No.
their jingle
Yeah,
to
we-
promote the other brand.
Exactly.
But anyway. Now, they're both made by the same people, or are they both CUB, or... I don't think... Oh, yeah, it does say CUB.
Yeah, CUB owns everyone now. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they don't own everyone, but yeah, most. All right, we're going to do the.
Yeah, let's
That's
crack
the
that on.
Carltons.
So these are twist top as well. Though I have, my experience has been... I haven't had one of these in quite a while.
There you go.
That was
I've
fine.
managed it.
Yeah.
I do
Sometimes
have
they're a bit harder.
a problem with some of these, and there's no jokes or ads under the. Oh, there is an ad. Sorry, there's no jokes or questions. It's just brewed for quality.
I thought at first it said brewed for better quality with Victorian bitter, but it was actually just bitter.
Okay.
Not better. Let's see now. If you haven't had this in a while, this could be...
Yeah, this will be basically a new taste for me, even though that sounds ridiculous. We're 4.9% by the way. And what was the CUB?
Yeah, they're both 1.4 standard drinks.
Okay.
So if you're really strict on your standard drinks, it does vary from person to person, but I think you're always best to kind of start with your standard drinks.
Yeah.
So 1.4 for one of those. So
Right. Yeah.
you know, you've got to be thinking when you get onto that second one, I'm now kind of getting up to 3 standard drinks.
Okay.
So
yes.
if you're going to be driving, you've got to make sure you wait an hour and get that out of your system. Obviously, that does depend from person to person.
Yep.
And for women, it's different again. You would have to wait a further hour.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember. There is a reason why. It's something to do with the way that the alcohol is
Okay. Dealt with.
dealt with in your body, and it just takes longer. It's nothing other than something that happens inside a female.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Cheers. Harder than thirst.
Yep. Okay.
Now, here's something interesting.
What might that be, Luke?
That's different to what I remember it.
Oh. Okay.
That's a softer... Because I remember Victorian Bitter being quite bitter.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say it's a softer, whatever, compared with the Carlton Draught.
It hasn't got as much flavour.
Yeah.
But... And it's got to be said too, these both just come out of the fridge, so they're cold.
Yes.
Nice and cold. and beer is always better when it's cold.
Yes.
I was expecting it to be more different, and I remember it being a lot harsher.
Oh, different from previous VUBs, not different from the Carlton Draught? Or?
No, different from the Carlton. I reckon they're quite similar now.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant from previous versions of VB.
Oh, I'm saying that as well.
Okay, both.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they're closer in taste than I thought they would be.
Okay.
But
it's different from how it used to be.
Yeah, it was a lot harsher flavour.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can't go there. I don't remember what it tasted. I remember the Carlton Draught.
Yeah, they're similar.
Yeah, they are similar. I would say the VB is milder in some way or other.
I was expecting this conversation to be, oh no, don't like the Victorian bitter. Oh, it's too bitter.
Yeah, okay.
It's too hard, but that didn't
It's
happen.
not that at all.
No, but I think they've changed the flavour. I wonder, for those that have had VB in the past, whether they agree with me, or whether I'm...
Well, I've heard with other beers
mad.
that they've done that, changed the receipies.
Yeah.
Other CUB.
Yeah, it feels to me like
Fosters.
I still prefer, there's something a bit more flavoursome about the Carlton Draught.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know that I would say I prefer one over the other.
They're very similar.
Because, yeah, they're in a similar vein.
Yeah.
And there's not a huge difference. There is a difference, from my point of view, I would say that's not as a bitey, how do you describe it? It's a milder flavour. Milder.
And I was expecting us to say...
And you're expecting exact
I was
opposite.
expecting that to be bitey and uncomfortable, and they're actually... It's not. They're both quite...
Yeah, to me, that's got more of a bite to it. The Carlton Draught.
What the heck has happened? This whole review
Something has happened.
I think it was that lawyer jargon at the top. It's just softened everything down.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm at a loss.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we should say that next time we'll have to have more different beers.
Yeah, we'll try for a bit more, comparison.
We can look at some pale ales and stuff like that, or send in your suggestions for anything that you might like us to
that'd be
try.
a great idea. Maybe some craft beers that we can get our hands on.
Well, we do have some craft shops,
Yeah.
so we have the ability to get different brands from around the world and try them out.
Yeah, at our local market, there's a guy who sells craft beer that's made down the peninsula somewhere, Mornington Peninsula. So we'll try and get some of that.
If worst comes to worst, we can always have some bintang.
Yep. Yep.
Which is not the best beer
from
in the
Bar.
world.
That's a bar.
Yeah, it's not great. Anyway.
Well, guys, I hope you appreciated that. Our super technical beer review.
Yeah. I don't know how we could have made it more the same.
There's just that little bit of froth on the top that goes all the way down. And I noticed with the Guinness, they say the froth's supposed to cling to the side of the glass if it's on tap. If it's done well, the froth is supposed to remain on the glass
As it travels.
as you get your way down the glass.
Ah, interesting. I didn't know.
And I couldn't tell you what happened there because we got down.
No, and I get the other thing to say obviously is these are better on tap as well.
Yeah,
Cold and on tap is always the best.
Always, that's right. Always the way to go if you can manage it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Our first beer review.
And it wasn't very good.
It was very good. Very, very good. See you again soon, guys. Bye.
Oh, what a flop. That's now. The only good thing to come out of this is that we get to drink some beer.